What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for yet another Tottenham update. I didn't think we would have to come back again today after the update we gave you earlier, but here we are. Quite a lot has been breaking, a lot of news doing the rounds in the last few hours regarding Tottenham Hotspur. Another day in paradise, as it usually is around Tottenham Hotspur. And look, we brought you the news earlier on that Thomas Frank has been in talks with Tottenham Hotspur. Well, all the reliable journalists have come out and spoken about Ange Postecoglou in the last couple of hours. And Alistair Gold, we'll start off with him. He says that Levy is still believed to be weighing up the future of Ange as he faces a crunch decision over the direction of the club. There are some fears within Tottenham of a dressing room backlash if Postecoglou was to be sacked. Some within Tottenham did not understand Postecoglou's decision to prioritise the Europa League once he felt injury-ravaged Spurs could neither achieve anything in the Premier League nor get relegated, which I find peculiar, to be honest. Like, if you can't achieve anything in the league or get relegated, like, why not just prioritise the Europa League? Just doesn't make sense to me. But Paul O'Keefe says that he's told no official communication has been made to the coaching staff of Tottenham, but Daniel Levy has made a decision. What the decision is debatable. All he knows is that Levy has not communicated it to the club, nor to Ange or anyone else yet. So people saying that they know he's 100% sacked isn't accurate. Told he's back tomorrow, and his mind has been made up. How long till we hear? We don't know. Ben Jacobs says before the final, Daniel Levy spoke to some of the senior players to discuss how they felt about Ange. Reports of Ange Postecoglou being sacked are premature. Clarity of Ange Postecoglou's future is expected next week. Spurs already have had conversations with De Zerbi a couple of months ago, which is interesting that he had this chat with the senior players prior to the final. I find that a bit peculiar.
Prior to the final?
Yeah.
I just think, look, we know that this manager, his future has been very much under scrutiny for a long time. Yeah, I guess why have it prior to the final? Why not wait till after the final and see where everything lies instead of kind of putting it in doubt in the players' minds about having a discussion about a manager just before a big final? Yeah, I kind of agree with that, to be fair.
Sasha Tavaleri says that Tottenham decided to sack Ange Postecoglou and Thomas Frank leading the race to substitute him. Marco Silva also on the list. Wait and see. Tom Barkley says Tottenham are speaking to other managers about replacing Ange Postecoglou. It is more likely a change in the dugout is made, with a decision expected this week, but it's not a foregone conclusion yet. There has been some interest from Tottenham in Simone Inzaghi of Inter Milan, Thomas Frank and Marco Silva. And just now, Fabrizio Romano says that Tottenham to make a decision on Ange Postecoglou in the next hours. Spurs are considering their options. I mean, look, once all this stuff starts coming out, it usually just goes one way, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's obvious. Yeah, 100%. And I think once you start talking to other managers, once you start sounding out, you kind of implies, you're kind of just saying, you've lost the trust in the manager. You're looking to make a change. You're kind of saying what's out there. How can we improve on this manager essentially? And once you start doing that you've already lost faith in the manager. And I think it's always best at that point. You could land on like what Man United did. Obviously, they were talking to Tuchel. He rejected him. He rejected Man United, and then they're looking at other options. And I guess they felt no one was really more qualified than Ten Hag to take them forward. But as soon as the first sign of trouble, essentially that second season, that doubt came flooding back. And then, even though he signed a contract in that summer, the doubt which led them to talk to other managers in the summer meant that at the first sign of trouble, he was gone. Obviously, you're running the risk of doing the same thing here in this situation with Tottenham, where you could go for a manager or whatever, and again, you could decide that maybe Ange is the best guy, but as soon as that first sign of trouble comes, the pressure is going to be so great, and also maybe you're feeling maybe you should have made a change. But that's obviously think about it negatively. Maybe it could go the opposite way. Obviously, if he wins that trophy and you decide to back him, doesn't mean it has to go wrong. Maybe it won't go wrong, but obviously you're running that risk. but you're also running the risk of changing the harmony in the team, changing the good feeling that has been built. You're making a change, and all of a sudden, you've done something for 2 years, and you've got what's called the players are on side of the manager. There's a very good kind of feeling in the dressing room, and then if you bring a new manager, it changes the dynamic. He's going to have to figure out what the squad needs, what he thinks the squad needs for his kind of style of football. And there's a bit of you're going to have to give that new manager time again. In terms of Frank, I like him. I think in terms of if we are going to make the change, which looks like we are, I think he's a good option. And I think in terms of how he is, his man management style, what he built at Brentford was very impressive. So I think obviously he's a good option, I think, if we are to get rid of Ange. But I just feel like personally, it's a risk. And it's a risk. I know it's a risk keeping Ange as well, but would I rather risk it on the manager who just won a European trophy or risk it on a new guy? And I know he's done a great job at Brentford. Don't get me wrong. Fair play to him. Like what he's done at Brentford, keep them mid-table. It's very, he's very reminiscent of like what Eddie Howe did at Bournemouth. Very reminiscent of that. And he obviously, Eddie Howe went on to do great things. But there's also managers that have done similar to Frank in terms of getting a small club to mid-table. And it's not like just because they've done that, that means they're ready for the big job. Now, I don't know if Frank's in that caliber. Maybe he's better than some of the managers. Look, I think Frank's a good option. And I think he's a good option if we are to part ways with Ange, which it looks like it. He's looking like the front runner. We're now hearing good links, right? Strong links to Frank, which we weren't hearing really with any other manager. It looks like we've actually been talking to him. So once that happens, I'm going to get behind him, but I'm not. But right now, it's a bit of it tastes bitter. Bit of taste in my mouth, to be honest, how we're dealing with it. But
it is a big shame because everything that he's given us in terms of, I know the league form was absolutely dreadful and a sackable offence on its own, but to deliver us that trophy, that parade down the high road, he's gonna go out as a legend, whatever you want to say. He's delivered a European trophy to this football club, and I do feel like with all these links coming out, I think we're going to hear something tomorrow. Levy's back from holiday tomorrow. I think Ange might be back tomorrow or whatever. I don't know about Ange, but I feel like the news is going to hit tomorrow.